guys, it is Kevin here in Japan, and how you doing? So a few days ago I made a video called Word of Warning, and I made a video basically some advice to prospective teachers, people who are interested in coming to places like South Korea, Japan, I guess China, Taiwan, wherever it may be, to Asia to teach. And I guess for teachers anywhere else in the world if you're a new teacher, and I'm sure if you were trained in Canada or America, this has already been you've been browbeaten with this information, but that was all about never sharing images or videos of your students on social media. And what I want to talk about, this is about social media too. It's another Word of Warning, a Word of Warning Part 2 video. And this one is all about, it's about Facebook essentially, and it's a warning to you to never become Facebook friends with parents of your students. Don't do it. Facebook is becoming much more popular now in Japan. A lot more people are getting on board. A few years ago, no one used it. Everyone used Line. Line is still by far the most popular social networking thing here. And I would say don't become Line friends with parents as well. And there's a lot of reasons for that. I'm sure a lot of the schools you work for or could work for would not want you to become Facebook friends with parents of your students. But also, do you really want the parents of your students knowing everything about you? Do you really, to be honest, these, people, whether they mean well or not, they're curious and they're probably going to go through, your photo albums and check, once you become friends, if you decide to become friends with them, if they ask you and you say yes, and they're going to check out all kinds of stuff about you. Now, here's the deal. Here's where this may cause problems. Maybe they see something in your past, your photos, your comments, your this or that they don't like. For example, maybe you have pictures of you drinking or partying, being at parties with alcohol, being at parties with too much alcohol, with friends with too much alcohol, or somewhere doing something silly, which maybe is a photo that was taken years ago and you never think would, you don't even remember this photo. And a parent sees it and they have an issue with it. Maybe it makes them unhappy, it makes them angry. They're like, wait a second, this is a person who's teaching my children, and they kind of do this, they're involved in this tomfoolery, and maybe they go to your director or the principal of your school or the owner of your school and they show them this picture, or they complain. Your job could potentially be at risk. That's true. It's a very distinct possibility. Also, maybe that person does see pictures of you drinking or this or that, and they don't have a problem with it. But maybe they're out at a coffee shop one morning. I know that in the past, when I've taught here in Japan, a lot of the parents, once they drop their kids off at school, they like to get together and go off and socialize. Maybe they go to coffee shops or something like that and hang out together and compare notes. Maybe one of the parents who you've become Facebook friends with shows your Facebook account to other parents and they check it out. And maybe one of those other parents has an issue with a picture they see or something that you wrote. You never know. You just never know. And I think it's best policy, and a lot of people who are in the profession agree with me, that you just should keep a nice, safe, professional distance from parents, from students, a nice line in the sand. You're on one side, they're on the other. It's best for them to not know a lot of private stuff about you, because it's your job is to educate their children. And to be honest, at the end of the day, you want to be a role model, and you should be a role model, not just to the students, but to the parents as well. You should be seen as clean as a whistle. No skeletons in the closet, even if you do. And Facebook is a great way to let people see any skeletons that you may have in your closet if you use Facebook a lot. And the deal is, it might be something very innocent that you don't even consider. I heard a story that in the United States recently, in the last year or two, where a teacher got fired because a parent saw a picture of her in Facebook drinking a beer. And that's all it took. And I don't know what the backstory was or what the deal was, but apparently someone got such a bee in their bonnet that, it ended up in now that's an extreme situation. But again, you just never know. So it's better not to do it. And also, other parents who don't use Facebook or maybe aren't friends with you might get upset that you have become Facebook friends with a parent. So I suggest just don't do it. Don't become social media friends with any parents of children that you teach. It's that simple. And especially, and this should be a no-brainer, never become social media friends with your students if they're children. Oh my God. I think, to be honest, I think you have to be at least 13 years old to become, legally, in the terms of agreement to join Facebook. But even if they are, why are you Facebook friends with a 13-year-old unless it's like a family member, you know? All right, guys, that's it. Some advice, some words of warning from Kevin again. Practical knowledge about teaching anywhere. Okay, take care. Check out all the links below, folks. Lots of cool stuff. Check out my podcast, the Just Japan Podcast. Everything you want to know about Japan. Check out my Etsy shop, Luck of Japan. All the links are below. Later.